BeatClub is that home that I couldn't have when I was growing up. It's a platform. I took all my knowledge of what I've learned and try to make it easier for younger people to have their template of how music should be done and have a mentorship all in one and knowing how you get your beats placed. I want 100 years from now know that BeatClub took me through a lot of journeys to make it better and better and better. I want it to always keep me growing. And when 100 years, I'm like, this platform really took me on a life journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mr. Richard Dolan.
I think you're a great coach, first of all, because you care.
Let's give him a hand.
What's up, everybody? Richard Dolan here for Courageous Conversations, powered by the one and only Braun Studios. Amazing to be here with someone I not only call an incredible, iconic, legendary music man, a rapper, a writer, a producer, the man behind beats, but all things that beat. What's cool about him is I had a chance to meet him years ago when I was working with a good friend and my still partner, Juwan Howard of the Miami Heat. And I had the pleasure of meeting him and his lovely family. And I love them as much then as I do today. But enough about what I think of him. Let's have a chat with him. What is going on, Mr. Timbaland?
Hey, what's going on, Richard? How you doing today, bro?
I'm keeping good, man. I'm blessed. I'm great. But it's so good to see you. First and foremost, man, I got to tell you, from all the years I've followed you, I have to make just the obvious observation, man. You look good. You're healthy. You're working out. You're everywhere on TV. Every time I turn on the TV, you're somewhere doing something, challenging someone or telling someone what to do. I mean, how's life going for you right now at this juncture of it?
It's pretty, it's different. But I love it because for me, it's like life is now just getting started. You know, I feel like the best is yet to come. I feel like my brain is open up to so many ideas. I'm a different person, as you can see. As you say, you know, I definitely feel different. I think different. I interact with people different. And my spirit is lighter. It's more, feels like, you know, God has took a big, heavy burden off my shoulder. Just showed me the light. And, you know, the pandemic really helped with that too, you know, getting self-awareness. And that was really my thing of how I'm looking today is just being self-awareness, just really paying attention to my mental health and asking God for guidance and just really dialing into myself. And I believe it has me clear thought on my vision on how I want to change the world when it comes to creators and doing music.
Well, this is an important conversation because I know where we're going to get to, but what people who will be watching this need to really appreciate is that the biggest reason why you're so excited about what you're working on is because you've been working on your greatest project to date, which is likely you. Getting healthy, getting right, getting soulfully realigned. How much of you being able to take the journey that you've taken, in my observation, it would look like it's been the past 3 to 5 years that you've been really taking yourself on as a priority. But I know that's been, your priority forever. But how much of that right now do you feel is right now? It's too late to go back. There ain't no going back. Like who you are today is who we can count on to be for the next 100 years. Would you agree with that?
Who I'm at today, you're right. There's no going back. It's like, you know, it's funny when you say going back because a good friend of mine, Sean, Jay-Z, Hove, many a names, I call him the prophet. He once told me, you know, as you grow in life, your eyes get brighter. You just see things in a different vision. So it's hard to, like, he was doing a project and he was talking about rapping subject matter. And he said, it's hard for me to go back and pull those jars that are sealed in the basement and bring them to light today. It's just because I don't live that light, you know, and I didn't understand it back then because I wasn't at that light. But now that I feel like, oh, that's what he was saying.
Well,
and you just said it like you can't go back. You're right. There's no going back.
But once your eyes seen light, I mean, it doesn't want to not see light ever again. And this is an important setup for the bigger conversation, because the journey that you've taken, I believe it's afforded you the eyes you've got that sees the future so clear. You know, aside from the fact, and I mean, gosh, anyone can Google you and find out how prolific you are and have been in the music. How you've truly reshaped the way in which sounds are created, and R&B artists and those who are aspiring to be musicians actually are in fact heard and experienced. So there's so much of you that's really synonymous with pioneering. That's not, now listen, brother, that's not to call you old, call someone pioneer, but would you not agree with that statement?
Listen, I don't run from age. You know what I'm saying? I tell people this. Quincy Jones did Thriller at 50. Okay. So that sold 100 million records a week. So, like, I mean, you do the math.
I mean, look, man, Quincy right now is 150 years old and he's still going strong.
Exactly. So, like, sometimes things get seasoned at different time zones. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to focus on earthly time, focus on eternal. Like, this is now the process. I built myself up to this, so life has just begun now. I feel like the steps I've done, all the stuff I created along the way to get to this point is that I need to go further. You know what I'm saying? Not to look back. Oh, I've seen this before. I've seen that road. Because, you see the same roads as you go forward, but now you have better lens. You have better eyes, a better thought, better mindset. You align. So when you're aligned, you can always say, ooh, you go back. That's when you look at the jars like, oh, I seen this jar I packed up 20 years ago. Oh, we're not opening up that jar.
But you see, here's the thing about your trajectory, though, is that, it's been once said by many philosophers that one's future is really just a template of the past. So much of what we've experienced will only continue to be experienced in the future. Now, rather than philosophizing here, because this is a conversation with the one and only Timbaland, and we're here to talk about what you're up to. What's interesting is that you ruptured the pattern. You broke the mold. So who you've been for all these years, and developing great musical magic. I mean, again, legendary. Something happened, and as a result, the trajectory altered. Did you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so now all of a sudden, a whole different future has emerged for you, because it ain't no more of the same, which has been great. It's more different because who you are is now different. Do you find yourself still tapping into that storehouse of the decades of manifesting nearly 50 years in the making, all that musical genius? Do you still draw from that now selectively?
Because that's what got me to those boxes. And that was the thing I neglected. That's what made an uproar in that light, because I thought I was bigger than the music. So I have to go back. That's the only thing you take from out of storage is what you came in storage with.
So listen, people have been calling you on the street a humble pie. I've heard rumors that you softer today than have ever been. I heard someone describe you as still sharp and still strong, but willing to learn and willing to listen. Do you see that as any bit but true?
Yes, because life is not what life is what you make it. You got to be open, and if you're not open, how can you grow? You have to be willing to listen, knowing that you don't know it all. Know that it's resources. People, human beings. We look at. I used to say, oh man, we go to Google, but I go to people. You know what I'm saying? I go to real resources of people, because once you connect to their heart and they see what you're trying to build, then they're going to connect to you. Connectivity is what I'm trying to build. That's just everything.
Now you see, you an intuitive guy, because you just gave me another step to get closer to the bigger conversation. Now there's a man, and I don't need to get into details because I want to leave him to being in stealth mode, but we share a relationship, Gary. And what's interesting is Gary, who's behind you in your crew, that dude's full on heart, big heart. And I've only had heart for you. That's how we've been able to maintain a very thin connection with each other. But man, you really struck me as a guy with heart. So you now have people around you that aren't here just to make a quick buck and ain't here to try to impress nobody, but they've got nothing but love for you right now, given where you're at. You feel that? You sense that?
Yeah, because it's a house that's built on love, and we all transparent on struggles, trials, and tribulations. Because the problem is, why a lot of people lose themselves is mental health. Nobody communicates, nobody talks. Somebody, people be afraid of rejection, but rejection don't mean it's over. It means it's not just for today. Everything is about timing. And so, what I taught people is like, always stay in grace and wait your turn. You stay in grace, your turn will come, but you have to wait for that light. I had to learn that the hard way, thinking like, well, man, I did this, I should do this, well, I should beat it. No, play your position, so it's going to come. And in the lane, when it comes, you will know, because your eyes will buck up. But thinking that you should be is the wrong approach of going things in life. And so what I built is a team of transparency, and this is the end goal. And it's not about talking about the end goal, it's doing things as the end goal occurs. The things that helping people win. No, he's not really just talking like a normal CEO. He's really putting in the work and actually giving back while we build. You know what I'm saying? So to let you know, when we get to the mountaintop of where we're going, we'll all be a family. And what I learned is, like, when I built Versus and just changing, just different environment, and as you grow in wealth and money management, it's kind of like, if you don't bring people along, it's really boring. You know what I'm saying? It's really like, it's no fan. I like to, it's like you want to create your team, and it's cool. And we all competitive creatures, but at least I like to have a team of people. Then we go play. It's like paintball. You go with a group of people. You know what I'm saying? You can't go by yourself. You can't be, I'm the number one paintball. Okay, who you gonna play? Who you gonna play with? Or like, who you gonna do things with? You just, it's cool to bring people along that help the journey, and that's how you build more multiple companies, more other things that the world needs to help others. Next thing you know, we giving out food to the homeless, because we can do that. We can do certain things. We can go to the young kid that said, man, my music not gonna be heard. No, that's why I be on Twitch, just giving back what was given to me. And I feel like, God gave me a gift, and my gift is to give back. He aligned me with people that see the vision, you know what I'm saying? And you have to align yourself with people that see the vision and have the same heart and spirit. And I've done pretty well so far, and that's we all align. That's
you've done better than well. I mean, not to throw in some figures, not to talk about net worth, because there's these two conversations, net worth and life worth. And net worth is where you take everything that you own, you subtract everything that you own, you're left with this net worth, right? A financial figure. But life worth is the value you give to and get from life. And by my observation at this juncture in your career, and it's like you're just getting started, hard to believe, but you really actually just are, you're really looking at growing both worths, both your net worth and your life worth. This is legacy talk. Looking at your kids right now, Thibaut, tell me, do you see that more important for you than ever before? Your legacy, how you live, how you lead, what you're going to leave, which is more than just money?
It's really about principles and really valuing, people. And, I believe my kids are very smart, and we live in today's 20th century. I think money is going to be a little different. So it's nothing I can really do to teach, because they're teaching us about, different ways how money is coming in, crypto, this way, that way. So it's like I just really try to teach morals first and standards, and, and I think value of money is what you show, like, as a parent, like, they see you like, oh no, I can't do that. I can't spend that. Oh, that costs too much. Just those little things that like, just because you can get it, you still say it costs too much. Why are we buying that? Do we really need that? Like, we can go do something different, giving options, not just jumping to go do it. And they see that. So it's like, that's the money part that I feel like they already captivated by negotiation, you know.
Listen, man, you're talking truth. I'll tell you why. I mean, my son, he's 14, and I had to take him to a business lunch. I said, "Listen, little guy, you got to come with me because that's how it's going to go." And he goes, "Well, listen, man, you got to subscribe yourself to a best behavior package." I go, "What's that?" He goes, "Well, I can come just as an associate, and I won't engage. That's free. But I can come and I can be like your son, and I can put in a little bit of time and effort, but that's $20 an hour. But if you want me to go all out and give a lot of love and attention to the people in which you want to bring me to lunch with, man, that's $80 an hour. And here's my PayPal account. You can hit it right now." Now, this is the world we're in.
You know what I'm saying? So they teaching you. So it's like, it's a different hustle. So what can you teach? It's like, you got to learn their hustle. Wait a minute, what did you say? So when you're talking, you got to talk money back to them. How about this? I tell you to do this and you do it to my PayPal. What? Dad, what you mean you got a PayPal account? Yeah, my PayPal account.
Mm-hmm.
Send mine. And he'd be like, okay. Matter of fact, I'm on the new Vimo or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, oh, you up on that? So it's like, it's technology based. Stand up
Right.
and mute and money is driven. I think everything is going to be technology.
Well, that's a great segue. See the way my son and the way your kids and this future generation is understanding money and commerce and value, collectability, drop culture, the things in which they can actually exchange in fair trade. This is giving rise to a platform that you're a visionary behind. But before we get to the principles of it, that's where the future is going. The future is heading into a very different relationship to money. Gone are the days of having a paper route, because you and I are the same age. Paper routes are passe. I mean, lose a tooth today. I mean, show me some Bitcoin. I mean, I want some real valuable stuff.
So I think just like when you said the paper route, speaking of paper, money is going to be obsolete. I think this bankroll is going to be something. I think it's going to be some gold tassels or something different. You know, like when we watch like movies and these writers that write these movies, they're speaking of William Braun. So that's why this is why this is a perfect conversation, because writers kind of write the history. And I think God put, you know, like when we look at the book of Eli, there was somebody that was a human form that was gifted writing the prophecy of the world. So some of these gifted writers, they could be God's prophecy, writing a Bible, writing what's happening in Revelations, but in how it's going to go forward in today's society. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're talking about like in John Wick, and I use that phrase, John Wick, it's money, but they got these gold tokens that they give. So, and it was obsolete. So somebody would say, if you're on that and you have those gold, like whatever task, that's like your wealth. Or that movie In Time where they had the numbers on the wrist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just little things. I feel like the paper is going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
It's gonna
But look how creative you are. You know, John Wick's a great metaphor, because you're right. They use an old world currency, which in that case was gold coins, but they still treasured and were operating under old regiments, orders, paper orders, phone calls, and whatnot. So that brings us to BeatClub. When you look at your platform, the one that you envisioned and that you're curating and realizing in the world of music, it's a little bit of a marriage between the old traditional and the future of how the future generations will interact with it. Would you agree with that statement?
I agree totally, because I think the new is bringing all of us together, and we can be together. And it's not like, oh, I got to go to the studio. No. We're in the studio. We're here. Like you go, we did. Like, yeah, connectivity. Do we want to be each other? Yes, we want to be working, and that can happen. But the old comes, is me. It's not a digital. It's not all AI. It's you get Timbaland. You get my advice. You get me and my entourage. If I call this producer, this top producer, what do you think about this kid? This kid is amazing, right? He got a future. Like, well, yeah, he should start selling this. So it's like the connectivity that touches the soul more than the sale. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people, you know what I'm saying? So if you touch the soul, you feel good about being subscribed 19 a month. You know, like I might get the chance to talk to Timbaland. What platform has that? Because I love what I do. That's why I love music. Whether I'm producing an album, I think now it's time to me to produce greatness out of others.
You know, brother, this is so bang on. I'm so grateful to be a part of your conversation, because what you're doing, Timbo, is you're restoring creativity through an old commercial platform. And you're bringing soul over sale. You're resurrecting significance before success, because of this whole hyper connected world we're all in. I mean, my son will FaceTime me from his bedroom saying, "Yo, Pops, I need some water." I'm like, "Go get it yourself." And why are you FaceTiming me for? I mean, right now, it feels like you're on the bleeding edge of really developing not just the technology, but the community to really understand how to do this right. Would you agree, Tebow?
Yes. I would agree that, just putting people together, like the connectivity, it's almost like it's hard to say. It's almost like a school, like a campus, and then people just own the yard, and they like, you don't see that no more. People are all by themselves, just in their rooms. But now you get to be in a room with me in your room. You know what I'm saying? And I can help you. Like, no, don't do that. And those little encouraging words bring greatness out of people. And that's what it really is. It's like, you're already great, but let me encourage you to be greater.
Well, what we're talking about right now with Timbaland and the genius, the mind, the visionary behind this thing called BeatClub is about how we can actually, in fact, create very meaningful connectivity, very meaningful and impactful collaboration. It sounds to me that what you've built is a very, very accessible community for all people to be able to access the kind of thought leadership in the world of music, creativity, even film, from what I'm gathering, because it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected.
Yes, because film is like looking at script, and it's like, if I see something like you got the broad behind you, if you had like a scene just playing, I could see the music that should be playing behind it, and I can get on the phone and like, look at that, guys, look at this, I got this script, look at this part, and we all just connecting, playing stuff, creating the vibe for the film. Versus, I'm gonna call Timbaland, like, okay, you call me, I'm putting a massive bomb squad out to the whole creative community and getting material to make things great, and they're being a part of it, and they learn about finance, literature, and then they know about they know that BeatClub is a place where all their business that they need to know is right there in a platform. Producers don't know about royalties, splits, all these things. Here's the information right here. We don't want nothing. It's a home where it's like Apple. It's a place where you subscribe because it had all the tools for you, the best tools in the world when it comes to creativity.
It feels like what you've created, BeatClub, is really the school of hard knocks without the hard knocks. And because we're in this digital community, it's really hard for us to think that our kids, those who are Generation X, Y, and Z, those between the ages of 25 right down to 12, it's hard to imagine them going through the hard knocks, because society's different, the world's different, and quite frankly, parents are different. We're very blessed, and we're grateful to be here. But what you're doing through technology is more than just creating this school of hard knocks digitally and creating this collaboration and then access. You're doing a little bit more. And one of the things I want to point out is it would appear to me that you're also creating responsible ways for even musicians and producers and writers to find new ways to make money with their creative genius. Why was that important to you, Tebow, to have that incorporated in BeatClub?
It was important to me because people have so much material that's sitting on drives. I'm one of the producers that have a lot of music just sitting, and I was like, creators we always try to be number one at our thing and be great at what we do, and we always cover it and hold over it. But now I'm like, hey, we need to create a place where you can sell that, build your valuation up, but learn, what I'm saying, through BeatClub. Like when you get on that, if all the producers pick John is a new producer. Now, is John worth $5,000 a beat? No, he's not there yet. but he building up his valuation. Now you just got noticed with some beats that you might have just had sitting on your computer that you would have never gave, that you would have thought it was for his BeatClub. I passed around through a community. Hey, this guy's pretty dope, but you didn't think these beats were dope. So now you're selling these beats for $500 or $1,000, $2,000. That's just instant cash. And you work out the transition within BeatClub. Like, you can't beat that. Like, you're getting your beats heard, and it's like you getting it top shelf by the greatest. The greatest team, which is, the Mike Dean, the Scott Storch of the world, the Tiny of the world. You have that resource to get your beat critiqued by the greatest, and the greatest pointing it out to the artists of today, like, this the guy y'all should be working with.
You see, it's been said that this is fantastic. So grateful for your time. For those who are watching, we're sitting here with the legendary musician, writer, producer, father, heavyweight champion of all things musical, Timbaland. It's been said that a man or woman should be both mentored and be the mentee, at least once in their lifetime. It sounds to me right now you're at that stage in your life that you're doing the mentoring because you've been a great byproduct of having been mentored by many greats. If you, the young Timbaland, let's say 30 years ago, right, you'd be a youngin', you'd be about 20, let's just say, or so. If you were 20 and BeatClub came around, how would your life have been different professionally, personally? What would have been different in your life had BeatClub been there for you in the format it currently exists? What would you see?
I think it probably would have got to Destiny maybe quicker, because there was a platform available that I'm sure every producer before I would have came would have went to that platform. I'm sure it wouldn't have been a platform just here today, gone tomorrow. I'm sure it would have been like Atari. Like Atari lasted all the way up to now, right? So it would have been the first edition of Atari. BeatClub would have been the first edition of producers getting their beats heard by Run DMC at that time. Grandmaster Flash, it's an outlet, just like a record store, but now it's an outlet where you got all the ones on SP 1200s. You can see them, and you can hear it, you can preview it. I think I probably would have been, me and Missy would have probably been just a little ahead of schedule, but I could tell you it's all in God's time, and so I'm glad it was. I'm glad it worked out this way. But
of course,
if BeatClub was back then, I think I would have. If I got started at 19, probably maybe it might have been the same time, because that's probably when people probably would have. I would as soon as the first beat that was great, I think the world would have noticed immediately.
Yeah,
I have to go through the Vontae and the Jodeci camp. Maybe we wouldn't have probably went to the Jodeci camp, but I thank God for going through the steps, because the steps make you better along the way.
I love it. Almost would appear I stumped you with that question, because it's so hard to think that way, given technology has an incredible role today, where right now we move quicker than ever before. I mean, gosh, I can just ask my phone right now, hey, Siri, play me music that I would really like. And I don't have to even think about it. And she'll know exactly what to play. We've almost lost the freedom and power of choosing, the freedom and power of being creative. So you embody so much great mentorship because you've met so many great people and you've collaborated, you've shaken hands, you've networked, and that's why you are who you are. The younger generation right now just wants to get to where it wants to get to faster, have more to show for it, and they're all in a hurry. And that's why it sounds like BeatClub is a shortcut that doesn't cut corners, but it leverages your genius. It leverages good mentorship. It leverages and exploits.
You answered it correctly.
Yeah.
I'm glad you took that out. You just put it in the simple terms. That's it.
Well, because I'm learning to be not just a fan of this platform. I'm also seeing why we must be evangelistical about it. You referenced, BeatClub is a lot like Apple, where I think what you were implying, and I don't want to put any words in your mouth, it's a one-stop shop. Like, if you got an iPhone, you got yourself a MacBook. If you got a MacBook, you got ITV. If you got ITV, you're like, so it becomes a simple solution. it feels like that BeatClub is a simple solution for those who are aspiring to do great things in music to do it a lot sooner. Would you agree?
BeatClub is that home that I couldn't have when I was growing up. It's a platform. I took all my knowledge of what I've learned and try to make it easier for younger people to have their template of how music should be done, and have a mentorship all in one, and knowing how you get your beats placed. You know, you just need a hub where, instead of being like, hey, here, give me an email. No, let's go to the BeatClub link. And, you know, just that one link.
Yo, you hit the nail on the head. And I'm so glad you said it. I only got a few minutes left with you because I'm being very respectful of your time and the commitments you've got. So grateful for your time here today. But before I do, here's the thing. Growing up, I mean, I was lucky because I had a friend who was a DJ, and we used to make mixtapes once in a while. So his home, his room, where if I can find some room between milk crates and such to be able to hang out in his room to make a mixtape, I was fortunate because he had equipment in his room, and that was a safe haven. But the safe haven of today is digital. It's technology. It's not a physical place. And although we're connected, we're still missing family. We're missing a home. So you, my friend, have created BeatClub. Really is the proverbial home for any aspiring musician, producer, writer, or creator of music to say, you've got a seat at our table digitally. Come on in. We're going to mentor you. We're going to school you. We're going to instruct you, inspire you, and mobilize you on the right path to making sure that you don't have to learn it the hard way. You don't have to go all the way. You just have to stick to the plan that we've got, because we've done this all already to date. Yeah.
Yep. Just be great. Be great at what you do. I'm here. I'm just looking for, because it keeps me inspired. You know what I'm saying? When I find great tools, I'm like, you know, I still love music. That's why I'm doing this. And when you look at people sitting, it's like we filter out a lot of the Bentley of beats, you know, the Bentley of school, like the Professor Charles of the X-Men school. Like, you know, you still got to put your time in.
I got it.
You got to be great. It's like when you come over here, it's like people going to, like, I'm signing up because eventually I might get picked, or, you know, on the VIP list, I'm that guy. And, you know, and we already have gotten so many great guys work already. We already done it, you know, from our A&R portal. We already have made moves, you know, just being verbally there through digital. It's like, I'm actually there with you, like walking you in the room, you know, like, no, you need to do this. And what happens, like a lot of times people will call when I post something, yo, who is that? Buster a call, Puff a call. Yo, I need that. And it be one of my guys that I'm just showcasing on my platform, and I'm showcasing them. And then they'll call me, yo, can you send me all his music? It's just like, you know, I look at it as like food. If you a bakery, you got the best croissants, you got this, showing you this. It's like I'm making people be better than what they thought they were yesterday.
That's right. You know, right now you're in the elevation business, and what's inspiring about you is like you're just getting started, and the best of you is yet to come. But here comes some truth. Here comes the toughest question I'm going to ask you, because I'm going to save the toughest one to last. And I'm just going to talk to you as a fan, but also a friend. You're still a creative genius. I mean, you're still in the studio. You're mixing some real legendary music, remixing some even more legendary music. Like, you're busy, and I'll leave it for those who've been following you, who are watching you, to see exactly what I'm speaking to. But how much of you, if even a smidget, gets intimidated when you watch some of these youngins coming through BeatClub and they're bringing it? Any part of you gets intimidated, inspired, rejuvenated? What happens for you?
Okay, the first word, no, not intimidated.
All right.
Always inspired. Because
does it raise your game? But T-Bo, does it raise your game?
It doesn't. No, it just makes me just be inspired. I just like looking at the tools that we once used to carry in a car, in a crate, or like manual hand tools. Now I can look up on the screen and like, wow, it's simply as digital now. These people, and then I'm looking at the the older generation, like, that ain't music. I'm arguing with them. They don't understand the digital world that, like, they used to keyboard players playing on a keyboard. But sometimes now you can just draw everything in and it sounds like the keyboard or the piano or a grand piano.
But what I love about you, yeah, sorry, I spoke on top of you, but what I wanted to just point out is that I don't know, for those who watched how he answered that question, his orbit remains always a great distance from everyone else. And that's a great signature of a legend that others will be inspired by. Because if you watch anybody that's inspired to do something, the greats that they're inspired by must always remain great. And you answered it in a very unique way, which is like, yeah, they don't elevate me. They don't change me. They don't challenge me. I mean, I'm giving them all I got. I'm in an orbit on my own. And that trajectory's been set.
So I'm just watching them do it. And I'm like, I'm more intrigued. Like, how did you know how to put that warm tape machine or this? How did you know, and they go by just what they heard and what they was birthed from their mothers and their parents. You like, wow, look how we evolving as humans. Like, they didn't get no lessons. They didn't get this. They just pick it up right away. You'd be like, wait a minute, that's different. So I'm more impressed and inspired by the genius of what they heard throughout their years of living.
So check this out. In closing, 100 years go by, and you and I are blessed enough, God willing, to be able to have a conversation 100 years from now. What has BeatClub accomplished? What will it have been known for a millennium, 100 years? What would it be known for? What has it caused? What has it created? What would you be able to look back and say, damn, I am so glad we started that?
I don't know, but I know I want to have that expression, which you just said, damn, I'm glad we started that. When you see a vision, you don't know you're going to see things along the way that you never thought of. Like, I didn't know I was curing that. I didn't know I was solving that. Wow. Now you're taking in a whole big, I want 100 years from now know that BeatClub took me through a lot of journeys to make it better and better and better. I want it to always keep me growing. And when 100 years, I'm like, this platform really took me on a life journey. It has made me meet different people, connect with families that I never would have connected with through music, to have a live conversation. You never know. I might help somebody might help me. I could, God willing, I don't know if I could have a breakdown, somebody can play you never know. Music is healing. You want to change the way you feel, put on some music, change the atmosphere of the room. I believe that, I hope, it just takes me through a journey. I can't, that's all I can say. I just want to say this really took us through some journeys.
That's it right there. That's it right there. What are you looking forward to most in the years ahead right now? You've got BeatClub here on the horizon. What's got you excited? What's the one thing aside from BeatClub and aside from business and even your beats? Is there anything else that you'd want those watching this who've been really moved by your music, touched by your story, motivated by your journey, and just absolutely dialed into your new innovation, BeatClub? What's got you super excited on a personal level?
What's got me super excited is being self-aware. Just can identify when you about to have an anxiety, or you're about to panic, or you're about to do this, and knowing how to talk to your mind and calm your mind down. I can't say that's no such thing you be a pro at it, but just to be self-aware. If you could be self-aware of something, you have made a great reach of being happier, in life. So that's what I really like on a personal level, just really like, just love just looking back and being like, so that's what that was in my life, going back and seeing glimpses of the past and seeing where I'm at today. Like, also, that's why moment. That's what on my personal, I love analyzing that's why moment and being grateful and more grateful every day that I get to revamp myself and live out my dream and see what my true purpose of life is.
Brother, I got to tell you, man, in the time I've gotten to know you, have admired you and from afar, but I've gotten reacquainted with you, I've got to make a couple of observations. First of all, you are as humble can be. And I think that within that humility lives a greatness that has been laying dormant for quite some time. So I'm really excited. I'm going long on all Timbaland stock. Number two is, man, you get the digital landscape that we're all walking. And as a result, we are grateful that you've navigated in such a way, using your creative genius and knowing that you're still deep in the trenches musically. You know exactly what the future needs because you are already living into the future. It's like you got that DeLorean. You keep zipping back and forth from the future. You know exactly where it's going. Yeah. And so you're navigating it. For that, we're grateful. But more importantly, I want to acknowledge you for having such an incredible, charismatic, and compassionate corporate mind, for letting me in your life, for allowing Braun into your life. That takes someone really special to let that inner circle widen just for a little bit, to let some new magic and love for you come on in. So I want to acknowledge you for all that, Timbaland, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of Braun.
Thank you for having me. This has been a pleasure to share this information to help somebody, and, I feel like sometimes it's the simple things in life that make us be like, oh man, never thought about that. And it gives us a revelation to set back and to dial in and get it right. Because sometimes we can be overworking. So it's happy to share this message.
Well, on that note, man, it's been once said that in life, it doesn't matter who is right. What matters is who is left. And here's to you, my friend. You are more than left. You are damn right on path. So folks, this has been an incredible time with Timbaland. I want to thank his executive partner, Gary, for making sure that this got set up in his entire team. On behalf of Braun, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a great conversation with the one and only, the very blessed Timbaland.
Thank you for having me.
¿Dónde compraste el compu?
En Al Costo y me gané